Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the records show that everyone is present except Jessica Lawler. If everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Under old business tonight, we have Deb Schmucker here to give us the master plan update.
Good evening. How are you guys?
Good.
So first, congratulations. The playground is officially opened. Let's see if we can switch to the slides here.
That's great.
So anyway, I was so disappointed I couldn't be here for the grand opening, but duty called out west. So I was in 100-degree heat in Omaha. I'd much rather been here. So in any event, congratulations. I had the opportunity to be out there a couple of times before the fence was put up. So I got to drive by tonight. So anyway, John and I know several of you on the board as well, over the last summer months, we've met with various different partners, this town council, other city officials, et cetera. So I left in the slides just about trends and related to priorities, because really the thing that we've been working through is the action plan and looking at all the different funding mechanisms and all those different resources and trying to get everybody's input as John was preparing for budgets and all those various, and that, as you well know, takes longer than you ever wanted to. So through all those efforts, we finally have put together a more solidified action plan, which carries you really through from 2023 to 27. Originally, I think when we first talked about the draft, we had included 22, and a lot of those projects are done, so we just slid them right off the list. So there's not anything specifically new, but it was just a matter of incorporating priorities from different groups that we talked to, as well as working, as John met with the mayor, and I know several of you have talked to the council members, et cetera, and just really looking and seeing the different funding that was available, so that moves some projects around. Improvements out at Memorial Park, improvements at Abner Longley, as well as some of the things that are not reflected in detail in the action plan, or some of the more general maintenance things that, as John gets budget for, I know he really wants to get the parking lot paved out at Reese Park, for example, but having the resources to do that and that exact timing. So some of those smaller projects in the bigger scheme of things are just, John's got them on a hit list of things, but they're not the bigger ticket items. These are some of the bigger projects that we know need to be addressed in the next 5 years, as well as we know that, as you well know, there's lots of exciting things happening here in Lebanon. So I revamped some maps, and I've been working on that, trying to bring everything up to speed, because there's a lot of things that have happened in the early summer. So all those things, we are full speed ahead, and I just told John I'd love to come back and just make sure you'd seen the updated action plan based on all your meetings, and just come in, touch base. I know that you guys also talk to different people in the community, and I know John and I have continued to meet with different user groups throughout the summer just to incorporate their thoughts and input. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and we'll continue to finish things up, as they say, dot our I's and cross our T's, and get that prepared for DNR.
One of our recent meetings, I thought, John, I thought you had mentioned that we needed to add some shading features at the splash pad and the all-inclusive playground. I thought you said that, and I don't see those on that list.
Are those more on that individual maintenance, more of a maintenance list?
Oh, okay.
That sometimes he'll take those, what he thinks are smaller items, and they don't make it to the bigger list. So as long as they're on that list, I think we're fine. So.
And then Stone Eater Bike Park?
The Stone Eater Bike Park, because that's being done through general funds, and eventually that will be presented to the park board to be accepted into the park board system. John said he thought that was, hopefully, knock on wood, if everything went well, maybe the end of 2023, that would be ready. Now that's, obviously remember that this is a roadmap, and as we experienced with the playground, and anything else that requires contractors and other people to be involved, there's nothing that's a straight line in this particular construction era, I'll put it, for the last 2 or 3 years, just between costs going up and down and even getting contractors to show up on job sites. That's been a real challenge in some other communities I'm working in. So that information was provided. John kind of gave, I actually asked John, I said, are we still looking at end of 2023? And he said, we're hopeful. So, and obviously that has, I'm sure that has confident to do with funding and resources, and so that's why it is listed as being accepted by the park board at that time to be in the park system. I've identified it as a specialty use park coming soon within the park master plan itself. So we've got it identified. I know the trail guide the trail plan that's being done by another consultant, you know, they're looking at how to connect all the dots. And we reference that in the master plan, but I actually I'm not even sure where that is in process, so. I know they've been working on it all year, so.
I know you're working on the dock.
The overlooks, so one of the
If
things.
that's, okay, it was the
Yeah.
overlook, okay.
Yeah, so one of the things that we discussed, there are some more specific projects for Abner Longley, and John and I are working together to put together a strategy plan and some
Okay.
more
Good.
detailed costs and contracts, et cetera, to get you ready for that, to gear up for 2023. So we'll have those, probably at least some of them, hopefully at the November meeting, just for you to be aware of and talk about and ask any questions.
Okay, that's good,
Does that sound good?
yeah.
All right?
And what about the fencing? Is that Abner Longley for that one side?
Oh, safety, the kind of safety railing. One of the, safety barrier, one of the things John and I have talked about is, especially as you're coming from the parking lot that's over by the splash pad, and then you're entering into that southwest corner.
Right.
So part of the work that we'll do with that is to look at what kind of appropriate
Okay,
safety railing, safety barrier. Some of it might be more of a safety railing, like along a walk area, but another may just be to keep vehicles from entering as well from the parking lot. So there's a route that we need to figure out, and that may have a little bit to do with where the right spot is for a potential overlook on that side as well,
okay.
so.
And that probably depends on where a walking path would go, and Abner Longley also? Okay.
Yeah, that, all of it kind of ties together.
Right, I saw
So it's
that.
kind of like, okay, we know we want to get started with this one piece, but then we know we have this, it all goes together. So how do we figure out all those puzzle pieces? And that was why John and I thought, okay, let's pull our heads together and work out a little more detailed idea of how to do that, and then we can come back to you with, here's our strategy.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sound good? All right, well, thank you very much. It's good to see you all.
And can we have a copy of the action plan?
Yeah.
Send it to us.
I will actually send you a spreadsheet that's even easier to read than the slide is.
Okay, perfect.
How's that?
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. Here, let me unplug John. You're very welcome.
I just, on the, also on this pier that we're talking about for that money is coming from the American Rescue Plan, so it won't be coming out of our park fund balance. And that's why a lot of these details will have to go, we'll address it with you, but also have to go before the Board of Works.
Right.
And that, because the monies are not coming from the park fund balance.
Right,
So-
and that's good, and maybe when we put everything together, we can designate so, but at least we can see we have a project, we have a plan for projects.
Correct,
for the
and there are, like Diane asked earlier, there's several projects that we aren't going to pull from our funding out of the park fund balance that will come from the council. So still working through some of the finances of some projects that we have for 2023 and future projects. Those we're still working out with the council, which I think we'll sit down with the council and discuss some of those issues too. If that's helps you or answer
Yeah.
some of those questions, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, is there any new business to come before the board? Okay, then John, we'll turn it over to you for the director's report.
And I want to echo, Deb was instrumental in our lighting, and our playground just did a wonderful job. I think both projects turned out wonderfully. Couldn't help out the issues of delivery of equipment and things like that was coming in. There again, that still seems to be a challenge, and some of the workforce that the lack thereof, but got it done. Yeah, really great product. Ribbon cutting, thanks to all of you, and also the mayor and the council for helping us with the project, and just everybody instrumental. And it was nice to have Channel 13 out there, and Joe LePage did a lot of nice publicity too, and the park staff, but nice compliment to the parks, it sure is. And I'm telling you, there are kids on it morning, noon, and night, so a lot of groups are very thankful for that. September was a very active month with many different events in our parks. We experienced beautiful weather, which helped with the great turnouts for the events and enjoying the amenities that we have. We have most of the winterization completed at Seashore Water Park, with buffing and waxing our slides yet to be completed. They were actually started buffing them today. From scrubbing floors to ceilings in the bathhouses, power washing, scrubbing the deck, cleaning the deck chairs, pump houses from top to bottom also, pool vessels, etc. We completed maintenance and ordered parts that we needed, equipment that we need to be ready for next season, along with our concession stand, which is another part of the facility, with the refrigerator, freezers, ice machines, equipment, all being cleaned, top to bottom, ceilings and all, and evaluated for next year. And I think we're pretty good shape. We might have to get a freezer, but other than that, really looking good. Pretzel machine and all that tends to hold up. There again, Lori Frost, our pool manager, excuse me, had a closeout meeting with the supervisors. What we do every year is sit down with the managers to see what troubles, how we can do improvements for the next season. Those all went well, and I believe we have all our managers coming back for next year, and we're really excited about that. A couple of them were new this year, and they just did an outstanding job. And obviously, when you have some tenure there, you kind of learn quite a bit. They did very well. Looking forward to them next year. All the sports facilities, shelters, splash pad are all being evaluated also for repairs and future trouble spots being identified. I don't think we have any roofs. We have a couple roofs that we could do in a couple shelters. If we get time, some cracks in the concrete that we'll address also. Treated all the grounds in the park system along with aerating, slit seating, sports facilities, along with addressing the thinning areas with the slit seating. We will finish all the ground treatment by fertilizing. Now that we're done, we'll start in on that and be done probably within a week. Great undertaking when you have 200 mobile acres, and I think you all agree that we have beautiful parks. We will keep the restrooms open until the weather makes us close them, except for the restrooms by the baseball diamond. There again, we'll keep them open until we really start seeing some cooler temperatures, because our parks are just packed right now. I mean, people are out. We want to keep everything convenient for them, so we'll keep those open as long as we can and announce it as soon as that happens. But it's normally in mid-November when we shut those down. We started to inspect the Christmas lights. I know it's October, but yeah, we started that today. There again, Wynn loves it. Wynn Jester, one of the park employees, he really does. He enjoys it. You'll be removing about 10 trees in the coming months and planting 15 trees next week. Mostly memorial trees. I think we also have another bench to go down at the hot pond. That'll be the second bench down there. Really outstanding for that. Love it. And there again, along the linear park that we have a few trees to replace. We'll be trimming them along the way too. Kurt Freshour stepped up and is going to teach some of our guys how to prune some of these trees along our linear parks. Very knowledgeable guy, and he's just all-around good guy and very sharp. So we want to thank Kurt for that help too. We've started to inspect Christmas light, or already said that, didn't I? We are continuing to work at the conservation pond with stump removal and brush clearing. We just had a cross-country meet, the second one that they've done down there. It was actually conference for the middle school. Nothing but great feedback about that. They ran through the conservation. We have a few trails now. It's all in mulch. I can't wait till we do some other things in there, but man, they loved it. They ran last year, and it's cleaned up a whole lot since they ran last year. They actually got to run up the hills and around to the pond. Anyway, Jessica Faust was thrilled. I think she's one of the coaches on that team, and a lot of parents from other communities just went on about how our parks are beautiful. With the frost hitting, we will be cleaning up plant material from downtown. We started some of that today, got rid of those black-eyed Susans and some other things in preparation for winter. Also, I think there's a fall festival. It's a free festival this weekend downtown, so if you can go out Saturday, a lot of booths down there. I think it's a great activity. And there again, we keep all and maintain all of downtown. Also working on several projects, including, as Deb said earlier, the piers and safety barriers near the football field is where that safety barrier really needs to be done. I think we've all been down there and looked at that. Pickleball court replacements, removal and replacements at Abner and Memorial Parks. Paved path and lighting around Memorial or Abner Longley Park, to just touch on a few improvements for the upcoming year. Along with that playground down at Abner Longley, it's really seen its better days, and we really need to look into replacing it. I don't know that we go with an all-inclusive like we have at Memorial. It's just so expensive for that all-inclusive material. We have one available for our citizens, but down there that you almost double your cost of the playground, and we're probably looking at over $400,000 just for the playground itself. So there again, we're looking into that and moving forward on those for next year, but we have to replace it. It's to that point. Beautiful park down there too. And our fall pickleball league is about to wrap up with the league tournaments happening this evening, and next Friday, the 14th, we'll be look forward to starting back up in the spring. Lebanon Youth Soccer is finishing their season at Reese Park. I think they have this week. I think that's about it. They might have a little bit bleed off into next week. They noted their registration doubled from this year compared to last. Lebanon Youth Football League had their Super Bowl last weekend. And a lot of happy little kids with those great big trophies. It's awesome. And they got to play at the high school, so that was really neat. They're still doing some travel league ball down there, so it'll still be a little bit of activity, not as much impact as it was before. We had Inwell hosted their second annual Boone County Recover celebration on September 10th at Memorial Park. Had a great turnout. That's their second annual that they had, as I said. And they had a great turnout and some very inspiring speakers. I sat and I listened to a couple of them, and boy, they're touching, the stories that they tell. But we have a great community and so many different avenues to help these people out. And we're really blessed to have such good groups anyway. Really touching stories that I heard. Colonial Market Days was held this year in September 16th, 17th, and 18th at Abner. Hope you got to get out and see it. And they had a great turnout. It was just outstanding. They've grown probably double, triple as what they had before. They also came out of the woods in some of their reenactment. That was pretty cool down at Abner Longley. And they really enjoyed our park too. Had a lot of great comments from them. Lincoln's Lebanon and Civil War reenactment took place last weekend, or the 24th and 25th in Memorial Park. They also had a great turnout and great weather. Our all-inclusive playground was finished, and that was with the fence finally being installed a couple days prior. Everything tended to work out, and just took forever, I'm sure but it was worth the wait. Again, thanks to everybody that helped with that. And then you can mark your calendars for Saturday, October 29th. Our 2022 Pumpkin in the Park will take place in Memorial Park from 11 to 2. Cost is $5 per person, and you can enjoy hay rides, pumpkin painting, s'mores, station, and kettle corn. We also will have Traveling Tom's Coffee there for some fun fall drinks. I'd like to give a special thank you to our sponsors as well, John Lastly Outdoor Solutions and Farmers Bank. And I thank you, John, for your donations that you're helping us out with that. We also, right now, you'll see a tractor going around the park and a bunch of little kids. It's Pixie Playhouse. They do that every year at the cabin, rent that out and have their little festivity. And boy, it's neat. Right before here, I saw them all just running around, and I tell you, we're really, again, I can't tell you how our park's used. We have, I think, 2 more weddings yet this fall coming up, and I think that'll make 13 and 14 weddings that we've had in our park system. And these 2 met in the park, this one coming up next weekend, I believe. Pretty cool to hear that. They were pretty excited, and we do all we can to help them out and make it a fun activity. We have a lot of maintenance to do. We have, just so you know, on our budgets, there was a little bit of cut. We did increase, we asked for 2 employees. Right now, it hasn't been totally approved by the city council, but pretty much assured that we're going to get 2 employees. We probably won't bring those 2 employees on until we get further along with the bike park. No need to bring them on until we need the help. Yeah, we could always use the help, but that's also coming out of our fund balance, and we don't want to spend all our monies. A lot of our budget comes from, well, it all comes from our park levy, and if we can save, that means we can use it on some of these bigger item projects. But yeah, as far as that, pretty excited that we'll have that. Kevin Krulik really worked hard on this Stone Eater Bike Park. He did get a $750,000 grant. That's the READY grant. There again, I think a lot of people were involved. The mayor helped out with that, along with economic development, which would be Molly Whitehead, and several others. But that was really neat for that to go forward with and to receive that amount of money. So that'll go towards the bike park and helping that. Tomorrow we have a walkthrough, kind of doing a punch list on the Big 4 Trail. There again, there's quite a few. I think there's probably a page list after walking it today. Caleb Skank was nice enough to go out and eyeball it himself. I think he took Mike Redmond with him and kind of pinpointed all the mistakes that have been made that they can correct. But we'll be doing that, but it's pretty well finished up. We will be doing something down at Abner Longley off of East Street because there's cars starting to drive on the trail. So we'll have to do like we did over on Patterson Street and put up some type of barrier for cars to stop driving on the trail. There again, signage doesn't seem to work, so we'll have to put up some type of barrier, and that's just how it is. Other than that, I think that's about all we had. We have quite a busy September, quite a busy October and November, and I can't believe I am actually talking about Christmas at the 1st of October, but yeah, we're getting ready for it, and it'll be nice to put some decorations on some of these big 20-foot lights that we have, and hopefully they'll work, right? So that's about all I had. Any questions? Comments?
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
We constantly ask this. I don't know that anything's even been done or where we're at on it. I guess, where are we at on the property at Abner Longley?
The property at Abner Longley, where are we?
Yeah.
We're moving along on it. We did have from Bowen that was doing the construction on the water plant down there. They had extra dirt. They leveled quite a bit of it around the RC park, but I rented a backhoe for the first time last week. We've been using the street departments, and we really need that to tear out some of these big stumps. Otherwise, tearing out some of these stumps takes quite some time. We don't have all the fence down. We're kind of leaving it up in some areas that I find troublesome.
Sorry, I didn't explain myself.
Okay.
The property that we've been waiting on,
The building.
the building to get released
Oh,
from.
Thompson Street?
Yeah, from
Okay.
the county.
Still, nothing has happened in that. We're working, the attorney's supposed to be speaking to the county attorney and the county commissioners on that.
And we've been working on that how long now?
Let's see.
3 years.
3 to 4 years?
Yeah, at least, yeah, it is. And there's liens on the property, I think, that the county holds or something to that degree. I'm not privy to all the information, the deed, we do need the deed to that, and I'd really like that because that stores a lot of our equipment.
Seems like we're probably spending a lot in attorney fees for a 3 to 4 year
Yeah,
process that we've
I
gotten
haven't-
absolutely nowhere.
I have not seen any fees to us yet at this point, but, yeah, I think a letter is going to be drafted to the commissioners and the attorney, hopefully, and we would love that property. I mean, we've been maintaining it 15 years that I've been here. It was, street department was coming down, and I thought we're right there, and there's no reason to have them come in and mow it, and so anyway, we've taken over the mowing and treatment of that. But yeah, I'm ready for that property too. Thank you. If that helps, where we are, same spot.
Well, the open house for the playground was great. You guys did a great job. Everybody from the office and all the staff. It was fun.
It was.
It was.
It's very nice.
And
And a beautiful day.
it was. It
And
was a
public
beautiful-
showed up.
Yeah, and the public showed up, and
Including kids.
Yeah, the kids. I loved having the kids there. That was great.
Just heard nothing but great feedback from it. It's a great facility,
absolutely.
and yeah, there's been a couple bolts that have come loose, and that's to be expected. We tighten them up.
It's new.
Couple things have happened. No big deal, but yeah, it's a great facility. And there again, Channel 13 was out there, which was interesting. And Radio Mom always, Scott Carney does a great job down there also with promoting a lot of our activities. But we had Central down there, Central Stars, and there again, Presbyterian preschool came down, and that was neat to see all the kids run in.
Yeah.
And then they interviewed the kids. That's what it's about. you know,
That was great.
It was.
Channel 13 did a great.
They
It was
did.
great coverage.
They
And Channel
did.
13 was my cousin, and he's local. He lives
Yes,
here.
he is, he lives here, yeah, and
lives here.
he remembers going down one of our metal slides, and he showed me a scar there, where he has a scar, yeah. He said, yeah, he said, I miss those slides, and I said, you do? And then he said, yeah, I've got memory of it, though, and he had a big scar on him, and it's like, yeah, but he lived through it, and I think we all did. We got burned a little bit places sometimes, and,
yeah.
yeah, we still do have a couple metal slides, and they probably need to come out to be compliant, but shh, we won't tell anybody.
The video on Loving Lebanon, when he interviewed that young girl, that was just the best.
Yeah, it is.
She was so cute.
Yeah, and there again, Joe LePage did quite a good job. He always does, and he contacts everybody. Yeah, they're doing a few murals too underneath these bridges and along our pathways, and I think those are pretty cool too.
Yeah, they look nice.
They do.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say that was just great.
We did have a lot of upgrades, by the way, too, with our, finally, again, that supply chain that Deb and I have been complaining about for quite some time. The parts came in for our cameras that we had signed on for a contract last year. They came in, up and going. A lot of them were replacements where they're even better visuals, but we also put them in areas that were little trouble spots that we had contracted with them last year. We also have more cameras going in for 2023 that the council, I believe, approved or will approve coming up at the upcoming meetings. So it's real important that we still keep an eye on them. The mayor and I did go down. I know that we looked at security at one time and found out to hire a security officer, it was like, John, were you on that? $45 an hour or something like that, wasn't it? It was,
For a company, yes.
For a company.
A private person would be $15 to $20 an hour.
yeah, and we looked at that. Well, the mayor had somebody come in, and anyway, it's a little robot, and those, I think as technology improves, I think you'll find the costs go down on a lot of these items, and also drones, and who knows where all they'll go. Unfortunately, we need those to find out, and we do prosecute. We've had several this year. I don't know the exact number. We've prosecuted quite a few thanks to our good camera coverage. Recovered a lady's engagement ring that somebody tried to pawn at that was huge to her. That in itself, where, she had left it and came back to get it, and somebody said they didn't know anything about it. We had such good visual and great police work, by the way, that followed up and actually found the person, and he had tried to pawn it, I think, in Indianapolis, and yeah, needless to say, our cameras are very good. That was something that was real interested. But yeah, I know some questions have been out there about that. We do utilize them, and the police are doing their job, and we really love the police. Just saying, they're our friends.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Any
Thank you.
other questions for John? Okay, anything else to come before the board this evening? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims?
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. So the next motion for this evening would be to adjourn.
So moved.
Yep. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hey, you guys want